Assalamu alaikum, shalom, grüß Gott, bonjour, privet, dobar dan, and welcome to this video. This is my last comparison between these two gems. I love both of them, the Technics SB-C700 and the Elac Vela 403. In this case, I will give you a sound demo using not the Rotel A14, that was my amp in the last video. In this one, I will use the Cambridge 851A. So where is it? Yeah. Now, I connected the Vela via B wiring using Audioquest cables with Nakamichi banana plugs and the Technics with the Ölbach Tune Mix 2 meters each. I'm streaming with the Airlino Plus, powered by a power bank connected to the amp via a in-acoustic cable. And in this case, it is the same DAC, and that's the one built into the Airlino, because I think it sounds very balanced. I like that about it. So way better than the built-in DAC of my previous Vincent SV-500. And in my next video, I will talk about the comparison between the Cambridge and the Arkham SA20. Now, let's go back to this comparison. Now, so I will give you three songs by Jay Young. You know these songs. One is called Sally, one is called Dynamics, and the other one is called 11. Let's start with Sally. And now, please keep in mind, this is a demo and you will hear the room too. This is a well-dampened living room. So you will hear it like I hear it, almost the same. And I check the recordings for differences, and even though it is not exactly the same, because I hear the speakers and you hear it over your in-ears or whatever, or your smartphone loudspeaker, but you get the differences between both speakers. Starting with the Vela. And I want to tell you one thing, you will hear the difference between when I switch from the Technics to the Vela. When I switch from the Vela to the Technics, I have to go over A-B mode. So the Vela and the Technics play together. That's louder, because that will be the case every time I switch from the Vela to the Technics. So that will not be that smooth. The smoothest transition will be from the Technics to the Vela, and I will show you with my fingers when I switch from speaker A to speaker B and from speaker B to speaker A, because speaker A is the Vela, and it is easier with this amp to switch directly from B to A. But if I want to switch from A to B, in the middle there is this A-B mode when both pairs play. Now, starting with Sally. right, let's play the next song, and that is again by Jay Young, Dynamics. Now this is a short one, that's why I will give it one more time. Now I made a mistake maybe 10 or 20 seconds ago when I switched from this speaker to this speaker, and it was too loud and I had to press this button once again to make it switch from the A-B mode when they play together to the B mode when only this one is playing. So let's go on and listen to the third song that is called 11. This is a short one too, that's why I will play it again. in this case I switched faster from A to B and B to A. So, to sum it up, and this is my honest comparison, my honest thoughts, because I had more time to listen to both speakers. I had the Cambridge now, and I like the Cambridge more than the Rotel A14. I think it is a better amp. The Rotel has more to it. It has a lot of digital inputs and Bluetooth and so on. But this Cambridge really sounds, in my opinion, hi-fi. So even more hi-fi than the Rotel. The Rotel is great too, but this is more high-endish. Now, the Technics on the left is the crispier and more transparent speaker. Even if the Elac Vela is crispy and transparent too, the Technics is even snappier, even crisper. The transients are sharper. The Elac is a little bit softer sounding, and I have two examples. With the Justified album, I preferred the Technics, and the Vela sounded better, in my opinion, with Dem by Yashar. So, you can listen to both albums using Spotify or whatever, Tidal or Qobuz or whatever you have, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Deezer. So I guess they are both available on all these platforms. Now, with some songs, the Elac Vela was as transparent, as open sounding as the Technics. But overall, I would say the Technics is the brighter speaker and more transparent. The voice of the singer is, I would say, easier to hear. The intelligibility is higher with the Technics. The voice of the singer is just easier in the air. It is just floating around here in the middle. And with some songs there were no differences, and with some songs, especially with this Justified album, it was always obvious that the Technics is a more transparent speaker, and that is a compliment, because the Elac Vela is very transparent. So this is like, if you know the Vela, it might sound strange to you to say that the Technics is more transparent, but it is more transparent. This saying, when you say there is a curtain in front of the speaker, there is even less of a curtain in front of the Technics compared to the Elac. And I would say there is no curtain at all in front of the Technics. But I guess there are even more transparent speakers on planet Earth than the Technics, but the Technics are very, very, very transparent. They have this holographic imaging when things appear here and here and here and here. I guess that is due to the point source thing of the Technics, when the tweeter is sitting in the middle of the mid-bass driver. Now, in my opinion, the Elac Vela could be the choice of some audiophiles, and the Technics could be the choice of I would say maybe 70% of all the rest of listeners. The Elac Vela has very, very smooth high frequencies, so it plays the high frequencies very smooth, and I mean that is probably something your long listening experience profits from. And both are great. Both are great. So really, really great speakers. The Elac Vela surprises me because it has so much treble information. I said that in my last video about these two. It has so much treble information, but is so smooth at the same time. And I don't know of another speaker who does that. Maybe the Concentro series, the new 503, does that too. This Jet 5C tweeter, but this kind of Jet 5 tweeter with this waveguide and so on, this tuning is very, very smooth. So there were songs, and I want to go back to this crisp and clear and transparent thing. There were songs, especially on this right album. It is more of a acoustic album. When the Elac Vela were as transparent as the Technics. So please don't keep in mind that this is transparent and this is veiled. That's not true. The Elac Vela is very, very transparent, but the Technics is even more. Now, I mentioned both albums. I mentioned that the Techniques is crisper, right? I guess that makes it so much fun to listen to pop music, and but also to jazz and to classic. I like classic too. It is a very good speaker, and the Elac Vela is what it is. So that is great. One thing in this video, I use the better stance and the better feet for the Techniques, and the, I would say, not as good speaker for the Vela, because in my other videos I matched the height of the tweeter. In this video I match the height of the mid-bass driver. I wanted to hear how the bass of the Techniques performs when getting such a good speaker stand. Now, why? In my last video I mentioned that the Vela has a better bass. Now, in my opinion, the Vela's bass is faster. It is just, I would say, jumpier, right? The bass is snappier with the Vela. The mid-range is snap, and the treble is snappier, is crisper with the Technics, but the bass is just faster with the Vela. And I wanted to see if I can tighten up the bass of the Technics, and yes, it worked, because the differences between both bass responses was way smaller when I put the Technics on this one and the Vela on this stand. So if I would compare them, and I did that with the same stand, then the Vela again has a faster bass, which makes it, in my opinion, very, very, even if I'm talking about the bass, it has some delicacy. This bass has some delicacy with the Vela, which make them really fun to listen to, and it sounds like they make pop music. I'm talking about the Vela. The Vela make pop music audiophile. That's something I really appreciate about them. And yeah, in my next video I will talk about the Arkham and the Cambridge amps. If you have any questions, please ask me. I will answer within a few minutes or hours. And if I forget something, or if I did confuse something, please tell me in the comments. I love to learn. I'm not a YouTuber. I just tell you about my story, finding my final setup. And I would have kept both of these pairs, but my wife asked me to sell one, and asked me if we could keep the Vela because they are smaller, and I said okay. So have a nice day or night, and don't judge gear by its review. Bye bye.